Friends and family, thank you for joining me here at the American News Network with Chris Sanders. We have 175 fires in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia going on right now. This can't be natural. I am guessing this is basically what happens when you have 30 million illegal aliens in your country. We could say the same thing with California. We could say the same thing when we don't have the space for the mentally ill and we're letting them live their own demons on the streets and bringing them to a reality, to a forest near you. 175 fires. When was the last time you heard of 175 fires simultaneously being set off in South Carolina? The answer is never. There is a common denominator, and it's called we've been invaded. They might not have bombs, no, but they got lighters. And this is what happens when we don't have our country under full control. We made 50,000 detained arrests. We put 50,000 of the worst in Guantanamo Bay. We are making moves. 100 in Houston, 100 in Dallas, 100 in this city, in that city. All of the Tren de la Agua. I don't really care what your name is. The other thing that's going on is the Sinaloa cartel is being hunted down deep in Mexico. We don't know if this is coming from Trump or the president of Mexico, but the cartels are being disseminated deep within Mexico. There are the people that we're finding that are manufacturing fentanyl. And within the week, we are moving big military gear down there, and we're going to destroy the cartel. And I pray that we destroy them well. Let God sort them out. So this is a warning to all of you people at the border. Get your crap and get out now. This is going to be a war zone. We expect to take over the war within a week. If you're there, you're going to be cannon fodder. We're going to expect that you're an illegal alien or that you're bringing fentanyl into our country. This is a heads up. This is a warning. Some people get offended by it. I'm really just trying to save your life. Get away from the border because we've waited for Mexico long enough and we're bringing the big guns in. So to the USMC and to the Army, our two real branches, God bless you both and let God sort them out. And you have some work to do, and it's called to protect the United States of America. And again, we are now doing things that we're supposed to be doing, but the things that I want you to be paying attention to, hundreds of wildfires have come across our country, and this is a time in which we're fighting Congress. Understand that all the Democrats voted to have mentally ill boys compete with our girls. Understand they want all of our tax money. Understand they're also the same people that gave it all away. If you're for a Democrat and you're against Doge, you must be mentally ill or from another country. Doge Reporter, you're doing a great job. To the 12 colonels out there that are digging through stuff so that we can indict people, God bless you. The 4 generals and admiral, thank you so much for your service to this country. And for the indictments that we will do. And we want you to know that we're here. We're here to stay, and the change of command has happened. Everybody that had a hiatus because of me and your pay reinstated, you're welcome. I knew Trump would be good on it, and he is good on his word. Little Kim, we're back in action, sir. Orange Man Good with watermelon balls is at your front doorstep, and right now the USS Carl Vinson Strike Group is at your front door, at your service. South Korea and Japan and Taiwan. We're here to say, cool it, Kim. Cool it, Xi Jinping. This ain't Biden's military. You've got the United States Navy now knocking at your door, son. I suggest you act right. We had a little spill at the Suez Canal. Had to streamline an admiral there because I guess he went woke tard. But as we pull in, understand we're pulling in and we're not pulling out. That's something Jackwagon Joe's dad should have done. But you see what happens when you pull out sometimes? Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, sometimes you need to clean your spokes for the next 4 years from that fiasco. I think the entire last cabinet was a bunch of damn traitors that need to be examined for Guantanamo Bay. We went from a rat's nest of people we've never heard of, like Janet Yellen, Anthony Blinken working for Israel, all of this espionage, all of this treachery, to then the all-star cast. Marco Rubio doing a tremendous job. We needed to get more land. We needed to steal more land. I didn't know what Doug's purpose would be, but if you needed to get a guy to steal land, Doug Bergman is your guy. I guarantee you with that guy, we'll wind up with Greenland and Canada. I guarantee you, Doug will do that. Now with Chris, we're going to rock your socks off right here, but understand something. All you woke generals, your butts are going to be streamlined. We're here to not play. President Trump has got a big shtick. The shtick is in your backyard right now, and we're going to be basically doing what we need to do. Now, you come to America and you cry. You want to be disrespectful to President Trump and J.D. Vance? Well, you can go home with empty pockets, Mr. Vladimir Zelensky, and go cry about it to the people you kidnap left and right on your streets, because Uncle Sam has had it with you. If you forgot, maybe you have, well, Melania, she could pretty much translate directly for us, so we don't even need an intelligence factor when we got Barron and Melania in there. They'll do just fine. And we're going to get down to the truth, but as we pull out, just like Jack Wagon Joe's dad should have, we see the Ukraine fizzle and fall in a day and surrender just like they should. I remember he saying to the president, "Oh yes, Putin tell me I crumble in 3 days." And you dare open your mouth to J.D. Vance and President Trump? You're lucky they didn't pound you right there. If I was there, they'd had to kick me out of the press corps. I'll tell you that. You do not disrespect my president in front of me, son. Don't ever let that turd back into the Oval Office, because he doesn't deserve it. He's the men in tights. He represents wokeism, woke-tardism, and he can go down in infamy just like Justin Trudeau, the son of Fidel Castro, and just like Macron, the guy married to a man, just like Big Mike Obama. Of course, you can try to sweep him underneath the rug all you want, but he's pretty big there, Barry. Okay, so Russia is making rapid advances into the Ukraine. They're saying, no, look, we've paid for this life with Russian life. We're not giving stuff to you just on a payment, so what we've taken over is ours. We got blood money here. And how are you going to argue with blood money? If you want to, you can probably argue with Vin Miller. I hear he's got a special called Blood Money. Maybe. Okay, well, anyway, Trump, he's choking the Ukraine, and Putin's putting the jelly on the Ukraine, and we're going to have a big fat peanut butter and Ukraine sandwich between Uncle Sam and Mother Russia. And that is the scoop. And, we've got our own problems. Again, we have North Carolina, South Carolina on fire, and I'm going to just call it out on illegal aliens. If you're not going to, someone needs to. Sure, a whole bunch of citizens that were disgruntled went around and started multiple fires. Well, why? Because there are just too many illegal aliens out. Okay. Well, anyways, we can do a lot of speculation, but it's going to go everywhere, even down into Florida. And as the Oscars happened and they shamed God, I think he responded with the 5.3 magnitude earthquake. Keep it up, Hollywood. I don't know anybody that watched it, but I'll tell you something. I think we've had just about enough of everything coming out of Hollywood. There's only about 20 actors that I would work with, and they all have Jesus in their life. And isn't it amazing there's only about 20 of us that even have God in our life from that whole entire spool? It's kind of like, Lot when he was wondering if something would happen to Sodom and Gomorrah. Well, I'm going to tell you something that happened to not just the Sodom and Gomorrah of California, but one in Europe. When Trump put his foot down, what he was doing was he was testing NATO and the EU to see if they were people that he should back, and what we found out was, in fact, they're not. Keir Starmer wanted to be a hero, acting like he's tough with his 125,000 troops. How dare you, son? You ought to step down or just go put your face in a retarded bin. Same thing with you, Trudeau. Here's something in a news flash. Heads up, Canada. Enjoy that 25% tariff from Uncle Sam, courtesy of Orange Man Good with watermelon nuggets directly from me to you. Same thing with you, Mexico. You haven't gotten the lead out of your pants. And as such, we're going to hit you with the 25% tariff too. And guess what? That good old 10% to China, maybe you're hearing us complain. Yeah, we like Xi Jinping. You do. I can't stand the dude. His ass needs a workover too, as far as we're concerned here in America. So that 10% tariff went up to 20. Trump, you ought to make it 25. Just make it even across the board for all these countries that claim to suck against America. In fact, every country that formed BRICS, that's Brazil, you too, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, all of you guys need a 25% tax, at least a 50% one. How about that? And we give 25% to the rest, because that way we're not paying for the Ukraine, you are. And you know what, Europe, you deserve to pay for it, because you talk so tough to Putin, but yet you didn't even fund 4 or 5% of your own, what you owe to NATO. You're a bunch of liars. Ursula, I hope you get what's coming to you. Keir Starmer, I hope you get what's coming to you. You need to be kicked out onto the street. You need to give weapons and arms back to people that are from the United Kingdom and from Ireland, so you can get all of these illegals and people that are not from your country out. So that when I go to Ireland and want to have a Guinness and chill out with people from Ireland, I don't think I'm in India. Or is that too difficult for you as a country to get the lead out of your ass and get it together? Same thing with you, Scotland. Same thing with you, United Kingdom. I know you have a history with India, but that doesn't include everywhere else. But you blink your eyes, and where is the United Kingdom? Looks like a kingdom, all right. Same thing with Norway. And so when we look at Norway, and it's now 30% basically Islam, does America want to fund that version of NATO that already destroyed itself? I don't. Nor do I want my soldiers and my boys being told what to do by people that can't even manage their own house. In the Bible it says that a house that is built on sand shall surely fall. Europe is built on sand right now. Sandy leaders. You only have one I saw that was like a rock, and his name was Viktor Orban. Everywhere else, total beta male. Total somebody that's going to get you exposed and killed. It's just something that's going to happen. What you're noticing behind me is the Sinaloa cartel is actually being hunted down in Mexico deep. Head leaders are being killed. Don't know if the orders are coming from our side or your side, but it's happening. So the swamp is being drained, and you punks that have been dishing out this fentanyl are going to get what's coming to you. So help me God, says all the mothers and fathers that are grieving because of you bastards. I hope we dish it out, and I hope we dish it out well to each and every one of you. It's called justification, retribution. And as far as the government, will you get the lead out of your butt and give these 200 radio stations that USAID and the Soros clan stole from our money, and will you hurry up and give those radio stations to Joe Rogan and Alex Jones and myself and people that actually give a crap about this country? Because we know what the truth is. That's why when we hear Fox and CNN calling our president already a liar, why are you letting those companies that are enemies of the state, why are you letting them still broadcast on the air? They all need to be sitting in Guantanamo Bay thinking about the disservice and the brainwashing that they're doing for basically, in my opinion, Mossad. No other country. The only other country we're kissing ass to seems to be Israel, and if you can't put that 2 and 2 together, then wake up, and wake up quickly. If you think it's the Bible and you have to be a Christian to support people from Israel, then you haven't read the Bible. Israel means to struggle with God. Jacob was named that when he struggled with God. You're supposed to pray for people that struggle with God. In the end, it was the Jews and the Romans that got together and killed Jesus. The Romans wanted their tax money. Eventually, they created the Roman Catholics. These Jews are the Sadducees and the Ashkenazis that you see today. Wake up. Don't be blinded. But then again, wide is the path that most people take, and they don't ever see that they're not going to ever get to where they want to be. And if you're a Catholic, understand there's 10 commandments, but thou shalt not worship an idol image. But you see that we do. Now, you should use it as maybe a tool to come together in congregation, but to do repetition, well, our reward has already been given. And only what you ask in private is heard openly by our Father in heaven, as it says before the Lord's Prayer. You need to do a comparison to Numbers, Europe, and you need a wake-up call. Ladies like Ursula in the EU are going to get you all slaughtered. You need to have a referendum. You need to vote people out. People that have had your backs from day one are people like Viktor Orban of Hungary, where you will see the logic coming from Giorgia Meloni out of Italy. And other than that, everybody else that is so pro-war is only doing it because they've stolen money from the United States of America. This includes Starmer, this includes Chancellor Schultz and Ursula. You will see a money trail coming back to the dead bodies at your doorstep that they have caused. Every day we see the media still talking about how Social Security and other things are going to get robbed from people. These are all lies by the Vanguard media, the BlackRock media, the Mossad media, and they're protecting just 12 million people. But understand, is there something in common between Silverstein of 9/11, Jeffrey Epstein and his Mossad Island, so he could do perversion? Is Jeffrey Epstein even dead, or did Mossad extract him? That's a question, because the cadaver photos don't line up with evidence. There's a lot of evidence that we don't have in the United States. What about Harvey Weinstein? What about Oprah Winfrey? What actually happened to all the black girls that went to that island that have disappeared? These are all unanswered questions that we have for people like Tom Hanks, that wants to portray all MAGA people as if we're racist when we're interracial Americans. These are just questions that we have, and we only see, why is it just John Voight and Mel Gibson and Kevin Sorbo, and Kirk Cameron and Mark Wahlberg? Why can I count the amount of Christians that came out of that evil city of Sodom and Gomorrah? Well, I'm asking for us, the men of God, to work with each other and to identify the bad and to not work with the bad, because the light is not understood by the darkness. Speaking of weapons, Russia's got something better than the Fox bat. This is their Blue Eagle. We can't even hit this baby. They've got a couple airplanes that are like our SR-71, and they are bad beasts. I'm bringing this to our attention. No radar can detect it. It's the MiG-41. And they have an array of crafts and war weaponry that we cannot keep up with at all. And so I want you to know that Europe has been a traitor. They were a traitor to Trump. As such, we should not bag them. We should not back them, because they are messing with basically the most baddest other force that is in existence, and that is Russia. And Russia's got gear that we just don't want to mess with. It's the only other country between Russia and America. There's nobody that can even compete with this. I'm going to go over 6 very lethal things that we need to be concerned about. Now, they have 9 missiles that go under Mach 10 that we really can't get out of the sky. What I'm going to give you now is like 6 different new things that they developed just since Jackwagon Joe that really knocks us out of comparison and makes it to where Putin has been very nice to the United States of America in general. And what we see here are basically major things that he's going on with. The first thing that you're going to see is this SR-28 Sarmat, the ICBM. It's the takeoff chamber for a couple of their war weapons. You'll see about the Poseidon. This is a cobalt nuclear wave torpedo, and it can totally take out the United Kingdom, all of New York, all of Los Angeles, and San Diego, our entire West Coast, just three of them, and we're done. We have a lot of things going on. The SR-28 Sarmat, the difference between this nuke is it can have, Jesus, 15 to 20 different glide bombs coming back in with MERV technology. Instead of just coming over the North Pole, they can hit us over the North Pole and the South Pole. There's no way we can defend ourselves from it. I'm letting you know the truth. So Russia has gear, and their Sarmat 28 Satan 2 is definitely a bomb we cannot defend ourselves from. In fact, the payload is so massive, this is the one that can entirely blow up the state of Texas or entirely blow up France. And like I said, it has enough fuel where it can come from the northern hemisphere or the southern hemisphere to hit us on both sides. There's no way we can defeat it. It's got a glide bomb thing, 10 to 15 of these other ones, or MERV technology, meaning these things are moving down as they're coming into us. And there's no way we can defeat it. There's no way we even know where it's coming from because they're mobile. He has this on two of his different serious war weapons. And really, if Europe wants to continue to act brave, this is what you're looking at. And the Avangard, this is something that he sticks on the Sarmat as well. But this has got what's called a multiple entry vehicles, meaning these things are gliding in, and there's no way we can stop this either. So he's got two different types of nuclear glide technology, and he has made his glide technology just super accurate during the Ukraine war. With this Kandar, he can actually hit our satellites out of the sky. We don't have a technology that can do this. So this is a missile. This is anti-satellite missile. This can hit down the space station. This can hit down all of everything. Poseidon. He's got at least 15 in the northern hemisphere, 15 of these in the southern hemisphere. They're already planted. They're nuclear suitcase torpedo missiles. They're down there indefinitely because they're nuclear powered. Now, it's filled full of cobalt. It can zoom to shore going over 100 miles an hour. When it does, it creates a tsunami of cobalt radiation, and that totally then makes the land and vegetation just not usable for hundreds of years. We know that there's at least one of these in between Ireland and England, and he's ready to completely take out Ireland and England in the blink of an eye. This is why you need to get rid of Starmer and his bravado talk. One's also supposedly around Long Island. Now with Cuba being into play, you can expect that he's got ones probably laid out for Houston and New Orleans, and then also San Diego, Los Angeles, San Francisco, and Seattle. In the Poseidon, he's going to nuclear wave us. This is real technology that's coming from Mother Russia that no other country has that can completely wipe us off the map within 20 minutes. We're done. No other country has that. Then he's got this new fighter. And with his new fighters, they're actually, with this Su-57, he's actually able to go into outer space, shoot things down from outer space. This plane goes so high we don't even have missiles to hit it. That's pretty sad, isn't it? So this is like a spacecraft / fighter jet, and they've surpassed us with technology to where now he can basically fly this damn thing up to the ISS. It's pretty remarkable stuff, and Russia has got it. And these are their 6 most deadly type of vehicles that they're going to be using against all of Europe right now. Trump is very well aware of this. That's why he's choosing not to fight Russia. This is not a battle that we need to fight. And like Orishnik just got hit yesterday. What did he use it for? Well, we were delivering, or Keir Starmer was delivering this new shipment to help out Zelensky. And this was just last night. And so then Putin uses Oreshnik and blows up the entire supertanker from quite a ways away. So he's not even letting you get equipment to the doorstep. But just by doing that, and with where Trump is on his side, expect that next missile to hit London or to hit some place of importance, because the United States is completely pulling out as far as our help to NATO. Remember, if we're taking over Greenland, NATO is dead. Also, the second power of NATO was Turkey. You've disrespected Turkey to kingdom come, and the war with Israel and Turkey completely has made NATO go into the dirt. So we do not know the direction of any of these people. One thing that we do know is that when Elon Musk was on Joe Rogan, he even quantifiably said, and this is true, this is fraud that goes into the trillions of dollars. This is the worst fraud we've ever discovered. Every single government agency basically needs to be completely fired and reassembled. It is fraud upon fraud, and that is a fact. Our government is the biggest scam in history, and there's so much money that's hidden that we're doing evil things around every corner, and we're not even aware that we're doing it ourselves. Much like October 7th, in my opinion, we completely funded that ordeal so that Israel could give us a political theater, and so people like Netanyahu could stay in power with Jackwagon Joe and make companies like BlackRock successful, because all they do is promote war weaponry. We need to look into Thomas Matthew Cook's. Understand he was not working alone. He was working with agencies, most likely BlackRock and Mossad, and those people that were in television commercials. Perhaps they got that war weaponry from the television commercials. And we need to prosecute and go down those avenues again. But the thing that's just very hard for me to believe is that somehow, as we are defending Korea, as we are pulling out of the Ukraine, as we've had 3 flyovers of Mar-a-Lago just recently, who's setting off all these fires? I want you to report in the area if there's been an illegal alien that has been apprehended that is responsible for just even one of these. Because we have that, and we have those facts in California. But we have evacuations that have been ordered for 175 fires in South Carolina, North Carolina, and Georgia. We need to get our country back. And I think the enemy is using fires to destroy us from within. This is a very old tactic, and this is a speculation. I want you to know, and this is great for America, we just blocked billions in aid from going to the Ukraine. And isn't it nice to know that those billions of dollars, instead of going to a worthless laundromat war, are going directly to the 175 fires that are burning in the United States today, because we finally have a government that is here, that cares about us, and that's fixing Hurricane Helene today, that's going to go out and fix New Palestine, that's eventually going to go out and fix Hawaii, because we're finally back. And I'm going to do what I got to do. I'm going to be going down into Louisiana. We're putting platforms to work. I'm taking over other drilling companies. Again, write to me at sandersoilandgas@gmail.com if you want us to take over an operating company or drilling company or oil field service company. We're actively getting together with Drill Baby Drill, and we're drilling the crap out of the United States. I'm also looking for docks from Texas to Louisiana on the coast, because I have new connections, and I want to thank this administration. And we're looking forward to selling liquid natural gas and diesel and everything back and forth, and opening the chains up between the Caribbean. And I have a feeling we're going to be throwing some more stars on places, maybe even places like Puerto Rico and Haiti and the Dominican Republic, maybe even places like Guam. But President Trump is going to be known as the expansion president. And with Doug Bergman by his side, I see a lot of stars added to this flag, and relatively quickly. That's the news. That is the real news. As far as letters that were out wanting to seize our money if we didn't respond, and having these awful penalties, don't believe anything from the previous administration. In fact, you're going to see a complete teardown of all tax institutions. And I think DeSantis led the way, as he was saying that Florida probably is going to abolish all taxes. These are real news topics, real news for America. Thank you for joining me here at the American News Network, major news network on your apps. And feel free to like, share, subscribe, share this on all platforms, because I'm just wanting the truth to get out. Don't know if we found a house for the SS United States, but I do believe that she would make a far better VA facility, and that she could house a couple thousand veterans, even be the final resting place for several Navy guys that would love that. And we got 107,000 homeless veterans. We have 22 of them on average a day that commit suicide. And we can do better than that. And all it takes is love. You know, there were 613 commandments, 365 good ones, 248 bad ones in Leviticus and Deuteronomy. Then Moses, he made 10. And from the 10, then Jesus said, treat your neighbor the way you want to be treated yourself. But above all, love. And for those of us that know how to love in this way of life that we've been raised, protect it and value it. And don't give it to the dogs or to the sheep or to the pigs, or they'll devour our pearls before our eyes. God bless each and every one of you. Amen.